Shalom and good day all, this is Healing29 back again for Fool's Gold. As it's been a while since we last covered the last DC Pride, let's see how this year's DC Pride goes in Fool's Gold. So starting off with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that's happening inside with, I guess the way to put it is the stories? A little bit, to which I give it a 5 out of 10, to which I believe it's actually worth about $1. Oh, and just to catch things up, if you have not watched my previous Fool's Gold reviews before, I'll let you know how this runs right now, even though I've covered like the first part in relation to the cover. So as you can see over here, this is how my racing system works. And of course, it connects to how much the item is paid for, but it's also how much I believe the item is worth. So how much I'm asked to pay compared to how much I should be paying for this, depending on how terrible or good it might be. So, of course, we have the area of the cover and the area of the internal art, to which, as you can see a little bit down there, there is a total for the artist. So whatever the racing is for the cover and the internal art, or the artists, they are sort of like given a certain amount, or their art is in any way valued in this. In other words, the eye of the beholder, is this art great, or does this art look freaking terrible? And it also applies for the main cover as well. And that can differ between each cover, to each artist, to whatever else. And then there's the total for the writer or writers, and how much they deserve as to how was the writing done and delivered. Did it feel like a compelling story or not? How much did it, what's its rating afterwards? So if the storytelling is really good, it might be something 6 and above, maybe 7 and above. If it's something terrible than that, it'll be 5 below that. So, and not only that, it's also got its own thing, to which it has to practically, the money that I paid for, it's got to earn its money back. And considering I paid what would be $9.99 US dollars converted into Australian, so just under $18 Australian, this cover, I believe, is worth a 5 out of 10, to which it's worth around $1 Australian. Let's see how we go with the area of the internal art and what's happening story-wise with the characters. Now, will this help bring back the money that was lost, or we'll put it deeper still? So as you can see on the side there are 2 like main stories, and of course we've got this one. So as the story begins, we start with Vita Ayala, self-inserted as a character, as Ethan Rivera. No bloody doubt about it. You can certainly make it out instantly. And here is her story, based on supposed love BS storyline. There was actually one character in this that I did quite like, and it had to do with the area of like the character's dreams. They felt like they were meant to be a villain, but they could have easily been the hero. The art between each story feels like a bit of a horrendous mess, with the rare exceptions of maybe some good pages and panels. And not only that, I think they could have done a better job here in letting us know the names of all the characters that are making an appearance in it. For some of these characters, I had to go by memory. For others, I have just totally forgotten who the fuck they are. Of course, here we've got Alan Scott, which connects to the front cover. We move a little bit more towards the end, and we've got like some trans biopic. Yeah, it was alright. Wasn't the greatest thing on earth. And the DC Pride in Your Own Words. Of course, this covers like a number of pictures and that, but I'll say one thing. A lot of the stories felt like they were done by ChatGPT. Just putting it there. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who noticed it. In other words, it felt like AI did it, not a real person. So for the internal art, I gave it a 3 out of 10. To which it gives a total of around 50 cents. So the overall for the artist is $1.50. Next is in relation to the stories. For the first one, I gave a 1 out of 10. Maybe I was too generous. To which I believe it was worth about 15 cents. So that the 15 cents goes towards the first writer, or the first lot of writers. And for the second one, a 0 out of 10, so nothing for them. Next, in relation to some of the things, or some of the extra things that cover the area of the story. So time, did we get anything time-wise? No, not really. It was all over the bloody place. It felt like it was wanting to somehow apply hyper time, plus the multiverse, plus a dream verse of sorts. It was a complete utter effing mess. It's the only way to put it. Next is the location. Well, the words of the multiverse came up, so even that sort of plays a part in the events that were taking place in this anthology. Next is the cast of characters. To which we had Renee Montoya, the fake Question, the real one's Vic Sage, bring him bloody back. We had Ethan Rivera, the Vita Ayala self-insert character. We had Connor Hawke, Kate Kane, Batwoman. It was nice to see her. Like I said, there were some characters I was able to pick out for who they were, but because of some of the terrible art and the way they offered this story, they should have done something to have the characters more identifiable, even if it meant putting their names up so the reader knew who they were. We had Stitch from one of the Teen Titans runs, from the Idiot, but apparently now they're older in this particular storyline for some ridiculous reason. We had Apollo and Midnighter, which I thought theirs wasn't too bad, even slightly art-wise. It wasn't the greatest, but at least you can make out what was happening. We had Harley Quinn, someone known as Coagula. We had Superman. We had Joe from that ridiculous Green Lantern series, who's now in the main Green Lantern Corps run. We had Nubia. We had Red Robin, Tim Drake, Wonder Woman, and Dreamer. And as I brought up before, I felt the backup sort of biography stories of sort of like some of the... They felt like they were written by ChatGPT and even artificial intelligence. For the overall rating, as I mentioned before, for the first story, a 1 out of 10. The second, a 2 out of 10. But let's move into the best big thing. Okay, we know how much money this made. How much did it actually lose? The answer is $16.31, and that's Australian. If you're able to convert that back to the currency that you paid for it for, I'll guarantee you saw how much this actually lost. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.